It's the final day from this trip down to Arizona. I will be soon heading back up to Oregon, and I will be back in Oregon when you see this video. But I wanted to show you what Toni brought over for me for my birthday, because it's themed around my birthday. She and I'm gonna have to compare in the last episode. I'm gonna have to compare the book that I found that was about the international sweaters. But Toni grabbed a pile off at the community center we have here. We have all these craft rooms, and there's a video for that. I've walked you around and showed you the place. If you want to get rid of stuff, you can throw it out on the table. And Toni was wandering through looking for magazines to cut up because she's in the midst of a project idea. And she grabbed this pile and said, "Oh, I'll just grab it. I'll look through it later. And what I don't want, I'll take back." She grabs the pile. She starts looking through it. And she found this little packet. So this is backwards for you. I'll see if I can switch it around so you can read it. But what it is our brilliant international collection from February 1964 Women's Day magazine. And as much as we can figure out, you bought your Women's Day magazine, and I don't know about you, but when I was younger, when I was a kid, my mother always had a subscription to Women's Day and Family Circle, and she had Women's Day, Family Circle, Better Homes and Gardens, and Sunset. And let me tell you, my 4 favorite magazines when I was a young mom, those 4 magazines. And I very often had subscriptions, at least to Better Homes and Gardens, and then I would go, because it was like $12 a year. And then I would go and very often grab one off the newsstand during my grocery shopping. Not every week or every other week, but I would get one periodically. I haven't bought one of those magazines in forever because I got to say, they're just not as good as they used to be. But 1964, they were clearly very nice because they had knitting patterns that you could send off to, we think, it was either an insert or you could send off for free. And whoever donated this to the rec center, and I hope you reveal yourself to me so I can say thank you, because this is the nicest thing I have ever been privy to find, although Toni found it for me. These are the 24 patterns that I also have the color pages for, because whoever ripped it out, whoever ordered this, saved the pages from the magazine. So we have the Italian, I'm going to hold them up. There's the Italian sweater. We have the polka dot sweater. I have to say this is the least attractive of them for me. However, yesterday, our local Ravelers group, which is another one of the historic Portland groups that I participate with, said we're having a polka dot day the end of January. Dang, I need to get to knitting, don't I? I don't know if I can do it in 22 days. I got so much on my plate right now. But this is the U.S. contribution to this international thing. This is an Italian sweater. Down here, this is an Icelandic cardigan right there. And then on the back, we have Portuguese and Dutch at the top. This is the Portuguese one. This one is, I have to look, Mexican. So that represents Mexico. Down here, Norwegian, which is a sweater knitted side to side. Canadian is the pullover. And then Argentinian is the big figure, which will be in Tarja. And then Tyroli, oh, no, we don't have, oh, and then let's see. Oh, and Danish. Oh, let's see, wait a minute. Danish. Okay, now I'm going to have to switch pages because they're on the page. So this is a Danish sweater. And then, now this is going to be hard because they're not all on the right page. All right, so I've got to do my reference sheet. So this is English ribbed pullover. That's English, so they did a fisherman's sweater for the English representation. This is Tyrolean, this sweater here with embroidery on the top. And then this is a Scottish sweater. Adorable though, right? It's a cardigan. I love it. Laplandian. That's the word they used. And then this is Austrian, the men's sweater. All right, and then in the backs, let's look. I'm turning it around to make sure I don't miss anything. All right, and then on the back we have a French cardigan. I'm going to put it up for you here. A French cardigan. We have Isle of Guernsey, which is another British one, but a Guernsey sweater. Then we have a Swedish sweater, which has got one of those buildy yokes. Greek with the key design right in the center. So that's the Greek one. I think that's Scottish. No, yeah, well, an Aran sweater. So 3 from the UK. And then this is a Swiss colorwork sweater. And then I don't think I told you about the Turkish one. That's a Turkish representation because they did a paisley. The cool thing about these sweaters is every one of them is different construction. This is not most during the 1964 period. Most of the books I've picked up, they're done flat. You seam it together, done. These are all done in techniques from the country they represent, which is pretty darn cool. And I'm sure it's not an exact science because, come on, U.S. sort of centric view of these designs. But I had a look at the Norwegian one. It's a side-to-side construction. The Swedish one is bottom up. I think the Laplandian was bottom up. So super cool. And I have, don't quote me yet, but I have this sort of desire to knit all these one at a time and work my way through them over the next, I don't know how long, 24 sweaters. So at the very least, it'll take me 2 years. Might take me longer. My plan was to do the polka dot one last. But, oop, there goes my stuff. But that polka dot one I now have a use for, so I don't know. This is done out of mohair. I already kind of shopped for the mohair. I don't think I'm going to like the sweater well enough to spend the money on mohair. So that one's in percolation mode. I may or may not do it. Maybe I'll save it for next year's polka dot day. All right, the other thing Toni found for me was this Piecework magazine, the lace edition from, it's the 5th annual lace edition from 2012. Let's see, it's May, June 2012. I remember this edition. I don't know if this was my first year when I opened. I think it was. So this is the first summer I opened. I bought Piecework and sold it in the shop. I sold out of this twice. It was the best magazine ever. And I believe I also had a subscription to it. But I will tell you why I remember this so distinctly. My mother-in-law, Jean, is a tatter. And I'm looking for the article for you. I think it's before this. We got the magazine in, and she happened to be visiting at the time. And she read the magazine, and I read the magazine. And we talked about this article and what it was. Of course, can I find it now? No, I should have put a sticker on it. Let me find it. There we go. Page 38. Oh, you gotta love an index. I wasn't going far enough. All right. So, this article right here. This article. And what it is Chester Ross Bent Sr. and his tatted bedspreads. This man, during World War I, right here, during World War I, ended up getting injured. And this is by memory. I haven't actually reread this. I just remember this from 2012 when Jean and I had the conversation. Yeah, they're calling it the Great War, which I believe was World War I. 1918, 1919 Europe. We have a 1918 theme going on lately, don't we, with my other magazine. Anyway, so he is injured. And while he's in the hospital, one of the nurses apparently teaches him how to tat. And he took to it. He loved it. He would crank out a tatted motif on the regular and created, I believe, Chester designed and tatted a full-size bedspread for each son, Chester Jr., Robert, Richard, and James. 4 bedspreads. 4 double beds. That's no small feat. That is a huge task. Kelly is doing a tatted weather table runner in a year. So that just kind of lets you know what an undertaking this was. And when Jean and I discussed this article, I said, well, Jean, why don't you make David and I a tatted bedspread? And although my mother-in-law never cusses, she gave me the look and said, I've seen how you make your bed every day. And said, no way. Basically, I'm not tatting you a dang bedspread. Because basically, she is correct. We do not make our bed. We just I have waffle blankets. And occasionally we'll flap them out, but mostly we just leave it. And then we get on and we ruffle them out again and we sleep. We are not bed makers, my husband and I. So we do not deserve a tatted bedspread by any means. But that's the kind of relationship we have because she will tell me and I like it. I love it that she tells me that. But to the point, although I love that article and it's a great article. And if you can ever go read it, go read it. This is the Piecework magazine again from May, June 2012. Best magazine edition ever. And I'll tell you why. So there's that article, right? In and of itself. In 2012, I was not doing bobbin lace. In 2012, I hadn't dived deep into lace knitting. In 2012, I hadn't messed around with needle lace yet. In 2012, I hadn't, what else was in here? I had done this. I'm trying to remember what this is called. They call it something else. They call it poor man's lace or something. But basically it's embroidery over gingham. This magazine, this edition, this specific one, had the Poppy Project written up in it. I have since met the woman who did this project, listened to her lecture, seen all these samples, and talked to many of the women who made them. Because now I am friends with the lace ladies. Super exciting. I now know how to do bobbin lace. Badly, but I know how to do it. It has an entire section with a pattern on bobbin lace with 2 different edgings. Needle lace stitch. Now, I don't think the Reticia is the style of needle lace that I was taught. I was taught the Greek method. But needle lace in this magazine. And then finally, I've got to find it. And there's more needle lace in here. Moira Trainer, right here. I have just taken an entire almost year of classes from Moira about this lace. And in fact, one of those classes, I made the item in this magazine as one of the classes, the necklace. A little changed up version, but we made this in class and I have it. So this magazine, I tell you what, this is a reason that when you get these gem of a magazines, it's worth keeping them around for a while. Because you never know when you're going to, especially if you're a craft collector, you just don't know how you're going to look back in 10 years and go, oh my gosh, this is the best magazine ever. Now, I may or may not have this in my stash somewhere, but I am so glad Toni brought this down. I probably didn't, because I can tell you that when I run out of a magazine in the shop, I just sell my copy. So I probably sold my copy. You will have to pry this out of my cold dead hands now, because I want to do everything in this edition. So I have now, for 2022 and 23 and 24, carved myself out some activities that I will bring to you on YouTube. Hold me to it, guys. If I lax, don't let me stop. But these 2 gems probably are the best thing that I have seen in a very long time. Actually, they changed my attitude for the day because I was a little grouchy. I'm always grouchy in the morning. Anyway, that's today's edition. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get some inspiration from it. Go look online for any articles out of the Piecework Lace edition from 2012, May, June. And if you can find a copy of this magazine, I highly recommend it. When I upload this to the channel, I will try and put links below if I can find any. I know I don't have any. I wish I had some. And then also for the sweaters, the international sweaters from Women's Day, February 1964. And if I can copy them for you, I will, but I'm almost positive I can't. But I will talk you through it, and I will, I'm going to be knitting them, so there will be tutelage, and I will explain things to you. So to the best of my ability, I will try to get your hands on these patterns. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. You need to be there now because you got to see how well I flubbed this up, right? Can I stick to these things or not? Oh, it'll be hard. It'll be definitely hard because I've got a day job, right? I got to manage the store and ship out ship out goods, and yeah. But Kelly's going to be taking over more and more. We are going to some shows soon too. In February, we're going down to California to the Lace Convention. Anyway, ring the bell, subscribe, like, leave a comment, leave questions. Do you have old magazines from your childhood, from your mother's childhood, from your grandmother that you love, that you maybe never will knit anything out of, but you love them and you look through them periodically? Do you have a favorite magazine over the years that you have had a subscription to and keep track of and never get rid of them? Let me know. Tell me about it in the comments. All right, I'll see you next time. I don't know what's coming up. home. We're driving home. Oh, I'll probably give you some road trip stuff if we get to stop anywhere. It's going to be a quick run. So, yep, we're headed home. And when you watch this, I will be home. So the next stuff coming up will be road trip. I also was going to tell you, I don't know if you've noticed or if you stick around for your moment of zen, but your moment of zen is going to include many, many more pieces of footage from the drone because David bought himself a drone. It's his Christmas present. He saves points and then he uses his points on toys. So he's got a drone now, and we are going to start collecting aerial footage where we can. There are some pretty stringent rules, so we're following those rules. But sunsets, I have a soft spot for sunsets in Tucson, so we're going to try and get some shots of sunsets. And my goal is cactus, so to get some of the cactus fields, because the saguaro, we're in the middle of the Saguaro National Forest, and I think drone footage of that would be pretty cool. Anyway, stick around to the end so you can see that. I call it a moment of zen. Hopefully shows like The Daily Show won't come after me. I'm inspired by him. Inspired by the moment of zen. For us, though, it's nature. So, anyway, bye. Have a good week.